Hello YouTube, I just arrived to the garage, so let's get right to it and check the runout on the new Bt30 spindle. So I think it looks very good. I checked in multiple locations before I decided to start recording, and the dial indicator I'm using is 100 of a millimeter in resolution. It's not a super good one, but it hasn't been abused or anything like that, so hopefully it's fairly accurate. Would have been nice to with a bit of a higher resolution, but this will for sure do for me and what I will use it for. I also received the cast iron spindle mount, and I went and bought a cheap scale, so I was a bit curious on the weight. So this one appears to be 22 kilos. So what's that in pounds? I don't know, between 45 and 50 something. I think 45 pounds is 20.7. So the bore feels nice and tight, and let's check what the scale will say. So the weight of both the spindle and the holder is about 33 kilos, which means that the spindle must be 11 kilos or around there somewhere. And this spindle holder was very cheap, but doesn't have any holes drilled or tapped, so I will have to make them, but that will be a pleasure, since I very soon will have the arrow for my little manual mill, so it will be fun. But what I was a bit surprised about was that this flat surface here doesn't seem to be at the right angle to the bore. So there are some springs here on this side, which means that if I were to tighten some bolts in here, this flange here will have to bend and deform before it will engage against the cast iron. So perhaps I will have to face mill this surface here. That I didn't expect, since the bore turned out to be so good. So I think I will place this one on the granite stone and check how it looks here. Here we have the spindle holder now placed on the granite stone, and dial indicator is on 50, so let's move it a bit and see what will happen. So almost half a millimeter. Within the area here where this flange should engage, and can't say right now whether if I were to mill this one to 0, if it would be at a right angle to the bore, but I will check that before I face it off when I have a dial indicator mounted on the Z axis, and yeah, then I can check that. But might be good to know that these ones ain't perhaps super flat, although they look very flat, and I'm sure they are flat, but they aren't, what to say, they're flat but tilted. So that was pretty much it about the Bt30 spindle. If you have any questions, or if you have any comments on how I measure, or if you want me to measure in another way, I can do it. It's not too much of a job. I'm no expert of this at all, and as I said, this little one here ain't super precision perhaps, but I'm sure this will do for what I will use it for. So the plan for the days that I will be here now is actually to mount the scales on X and Y. As you can see, the numbers are red there, so we'll have to come up with something. My compound table is a bit small, so it was a bit tricky. But before I left last time I was here, I started to make an adapter plate here out of some tool steel. So this one is almost finished, I think. I will have to drill these holes up a bit more, and then this one will be sitting down here. It's impossible to see now, but I drilled and tapped 2 holes here last time I was in the garage. And perhaps I will do some work on the router after that. And I had the AC servo home to my apartment and test connected it, and now I know exactly how to wire it and which settings I need to use. So the only thing I'm waiting for the lathe here is actually pulley and belt here, and I ordered them from England, but apparently shipping seemed to go very slow now during Corona time, so hopefully I will get them in the end of this week or next week. And yep, then I got everything for the lathe, so just to mount the motor and try it out, and after that starting to build on an enclosure for it.